On a Saturday night, Giannis' season has come to an end. Drake is wearing a Kawhi River sweatshirt. It never ends, although you kind of wish it would. The Bucks have an early lead in the first. Bledsoe back to Giannis, who finishes, and people have been all over Bledsoe for a less than great series. Giannis doing what he does best. Remember, he said, "We will not fold. We will not fold." There's Giannis showing a little bit of range. And then how about one more time, the kick out to George Hill, who's really come alive here in this series from downtown. 15-2 run for the Bucks to end the first. They lead by 13 after one, needing a win to save their season and head back to Milwaukee for Game 7 on Monday. Look at this ball movement to Ibaka, who finishes. Take another look. Finds himself wide open. And it was other guys besides Kawhi that came up huge. Our Tim Legler will be here to talk about that in just a second. Van Vliet just on fire. Continuing what we saw in Game 5 when he had 7 threes. Jurassic Park is loving it. As John Anderson likes to say, they've only been waiting 65 million years for this. Third quarter, the Euro step. Pass Gasol. Man, and then Giannis in transition again. People are talking about him as the presumptive MVP. But as Tim and others have said, there have been some holes exposed in his game late. He's doing everything he can to get back stateside. Raptors are in a big hole here. Look at this, they're down 15. Kawhi, it counts, and the foul. Nearing free agency, nearing perhaps another trip to the NBA Finals. And then things started really going right for the Raptors at the end of the third quarter. The end of the third, on a 10-0 run, it continued in the fourth. And it wasn't just Kawhi, it was other guys. Drake loving it. And just like that, Kawhi scored or assisted on the final 10 points of the third. They were great. In the fourth, tight ball game. That 15-point Bucks lead is down to 2. Hang on a second. Ibaka throwing it down. And then Siakam. He's up for the NBA's most improved player. He seems like a great, great bet to win it. The Raptors have now taken the lead. Van Vliet working his magic. Masai Ujiri saw something in him a lot of other people did not. His specialty in the last 2 games has been from downtown, especially after he struggled early in the series. Now, Raptors up 6. And then look at this. Superstar over superstar. Leonard throwing it down over Giannis. Leonard and the Raptors go on a 26-3 run from the end of the third into the fourth. About an 8-minute span of clock there. He's loving it. He kind of flamed out with Manziel in Kentucky basketball, but this one's going to work. Raptors lead by 2 under 4 minutes to go. Wow, when's the last time we saw a Kawhi-friendly bounce? From right about there, if I'm not mistaken. Raptors lead by 3. Just over 2 minutes to go. Leonard to the rack. Giannis is there, but so is Siakam. Huge block on the initial attempt from Kawhi. But Pascal Siakam there to save the day. Second effort by the Raptors, and they're feeling it at Scotiabank Arena. Raptors by 3, 20 seconds to go. Bucks got to get a stop. The players are confused because the shot clock here apparently never reset. Now take a look at the replay. Ball hits the rim. So obviously that should be a reset. Raptors instead keep the ball, kind of a weird sequence at the end, trying to put the game away. Siakam at the line. Kawhi grabs the rebound. That'll seal it inside. Outside, they're loving it. Leonard gets his biggest rebound of the game to send the Raptors to the NBA Finals for the first time ever. And they joined the league in 1995-96. Michael Wilbon with Fred Van Vliet. Look at that reaction north of the border. Wilbon, Van Vliet, thanks. The finals begin where we'll see Van Vliet Thursday on ABC. Well, that escalated quickly. We mentioned the 26-3 run in the highlights, latter end of the third, where Kawhi either scored and assisted on everything in the final 10 there. And about halfway through the fourth quarter, it was all Raptors, and that's how you erase, as Michael said, a 15-point Bucks lead, and you go to the NBA Finals for the first time ever. Analysis all night long on SportsCenter begins with Tim Legler, 194, the final, and it's just the shots they hit late with everyone contributing, that was the key.
Yeah, you and I think, are going to talk about some of the things that set this up that are critical. But when you talk about the two biggest possessions of the game, explain why these things are able to happen. It starts off here. Now, you've got Malcolm Brogdon guarding Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard is targeting Brook Lopez, and he wants to make sure that he can come out here, get the screen by Pascal Siakam, come off and attack, and you get the switch. Now, watch the chain of events that happen after he gets the switch. So here comes the screen, comes off. Brook Lopez is guarding him now. As he goes to the rim, Giannis comes over to help right here. But as Kawhi Leonard kicks this ball out, at this point, right now, because Brook Lopez picked him up on the switch, that's your guy. And you see the rest of these guys scrambling. George Hill runs to the corner. You see Malcolm Brogdon sprinting out here to Kyle Lowry. You're going to see Giannis sprint out here. So Brook Lopez now is responsible for Kawhi Leonard. The rest of this possession, but you can see what happens. He watches Kyle Lowry, and his natural instincts as a shot blocker take over. So he runs at the rim, and at this point, you see Kawhi Leonard's got his hand up. He's just going to float over here to the three-point line. Because you can wonder, like, how does Kawhi get open on a play like this with such a critical time? You see the chain of events that happened all started with the switch. Kawhi Leonard continuing to chase the basketball. That was a little Steph Curry, Klay Thompson like there. You pass it, you chase it, you get to a spot. Now, next biggest shot of the game right here, and you can't say enough about this effort. I mean, look at that block by Giannis Antetokounmpo. But again, it's the greatness of Kawhi Leonard. He draws three. Now, luck is involved in this game sometimes, Zubin. This ball is going to come straight down on the floor rather than kick out where one of these guards can get it. It goes straight down. You see Pascal Siakam. One of these two guards has to go down here and chip on him. It happened so quick. I'm not saying they're to blame, but that's the only way they can come up with this loose ball, because you got two guys going for the block, and the ball goes straight down on the floor. The only place it could go for Pascal Siakam to pick that up, immediately off his feet, didn't bring it down, which is smart, gets the putback. Two biggest baskets of the game right there. It helped Toronto seal the deal and get to the NBA Finals for the first time.
1995-96, they entered the league. Their whole MO has been not being able to get over the hump, not being able to get past LeBron. LeBron is out of the East. They take advantage. Full postgame to come. Mike Budenholzer, Nick Nurse, Giannis, Kawhi on the way. I want to talk to you about guys not named Kawhi that stepped up. You just heard Wilbon with Van Vliet. Siakam's up for most improved player. What do you make of the team effort and not saying, Kawhi, come rescue us tonight?
I took 22 pages of notes on this game.
22.
Virtually wrote something down on every possession of the entire game. And what I wrote at the start of the fourth quarter at the top of the page was Giannis and Kawhi both out of the game. Thought it was a key stretch. And the way the Toronto Raptors answered that string of possessions set up the late game heroics by Kawhi Leonard. Here's what I'm talking about. Starts off with a Fred Van Vliet drive. You're talking about a guy turning his series around. Now you get the kick out. Lowry, great ball movement. Norman Powell in the corner for a wide open three. Great penetration by Lowry. Hits Serge Ibaka. So the third guy now with a key basket. And now Siakam off the simple ball screen. Great decision by Lowry. The short floater, the fourth different player to score. And then this one right here, the cherry on top of that Sunday is Van Vliet with the sidestep. James Harden like three. So that's what, 10 points, 5 trips, or 12 points on 5 trips with Kawhi Leonard sitting on the bench. You can't say enough about what that meant to the complexion of this game. You know, Giannis is out also, but Giannis isn't the dominant offensive player that Kawhi is.
No.
You wonder with Toronto, where is this going to come from right now? Because if he comes back in the game and they're down 8 or 10, this is going to have a different result. So the fact that they not only stemmed the tide, they actually outscored the Bucks, I think 12-2 during that stretch with Kawhi Leonard out of the game so he could get a blow, come in and be great late to help seal the deal.
That says a lot. Tim, hang tight. The NBA had 160-win team this year. It was the Milwaukee Bucks. The finals would have went through Milwaukee if they had gotten there, but they didn't. A bitter pill to swallow for Mike Budenholzer.
Just like to start by congratulating Nick Nurse and his staff and the Toronto Raptors and all their players, their organization. Congratulations to them. They did a heck of a job. You know, it's hard to put into words, you know, how you feel when a season like this ends. I'll save most of it for the team, but I'll say I couldn't be more proud of the way our guys compete, the way they play every night, the way they conduct themselves. This hurts, but what they did in this playoffs tonight against a really good Toronto Raptor team, and to get to the conference finals in the regular season, special season for us. And we feel like we're just getting started. This is the beginning of our journey. And again, I couldn't be more proud of our team. And I don't know that there'll be an opportunity in questions. I would like to thank John Horst and the front office and the job that they did in this setting, in this environment, the roster and everything they did to put together a team that could compete at this level. I couldn't be more thankful and grateful and appreciative of what John Horst, the front office, does, what the ownership does. So I just wanted to say that here in this setting.
Matt Velasquez, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. You guys were up 15 late in the third. They go on that 26-3 run. Just what did you sense from your guys during that stretch? Did you sense them tensing up, or how would you maybe diagnose the struggles in the half court too?
I'm not sure I'll go back and watch this game, at least not for a while. A little bit of both. I felt like we got out in transition. I remember one big play. Giannis gets it on almost a lob and is at the rim and kicks it out, and we miss a wide open three. And my guess is there's going to be some situations where we missed open shots, and there's going to be some dry possessions where we either don't execute well enough, we don't maybe share and pass the ball and play in a crowd. 26-3 run is usually a little bit of everything.
Eric Name, The Athletic. I'm curious, taking a look at the start of that fourth quarter, Giannis is on the bench. When you look back, do you regret maybe not having Giannis out there as they go on that run that ties it up real quick?
No, I mean, it's been a big topic, something, lots of questions. I don't think Giannis playing 44 minutes is the solution. If we can't win with Giannis at, 40 and a half, then Toronto deserves it. At some point he's got to take a break. I think he took a 1-minute break in the third quarter, and he took a minute and a half or 2 minutes. And credit to Toronto, and it's an area where we got to be better. Giannis was out there for a lot of good things, and part of whatever it is that didn't go our way.
Kane Pittman with the pick and roll, Bud. With 29 seconds left, it's a 3-point game. There's a bit of a differential there with the shot clock. Was that an obvious decision for you to let them run the clock out and try and stop, or what's the thought process when you get there?
No, gosh, it's right, like on that edge. And, we talked a lot about it as a coaching staff and, went into the huddle with the players. And I think it was 29.4, 29.6. So, you feel like there's a 5.5, 6 second differential. And as good as we've been defensively all year to try and get a stop. You got 5 seconds, 6 seconds to come and score, a 3-point and tie it up. The debate, do you have more possessions and play the free throw game? Like I said, it's just right on the edge, 29.6, 5.4 different, 5.6 difference. We went with trying to get a stop.
I mean, he did an incredible job. By the way, John Horst is Milwaukee's 30-year-old general manager, about 35 years old. So a bright future in the front office and on the floor.